Hey, what's up, Captain Swantek here. I'm super excited to see you because in this video, I'm going to share with you how to turn your fears into motivation. All right. So let me know down below. Do you actually sometimes feel like your fear is holding you back from achieving your goals? Or when was the last time your fear actually prevented you from doing something you really wanted to do? Let me know in the comments below because in this video, I'm going to share with you how to actually turn those fears into motivation so that you can actually make the most out of your life. So fear can actually be a good thing or a bad thing. It depends on how you handle it. All right. So if you can actually learn how to recognize and manage your fear, then you can actually use it to your advantage. Now, there are many emotions that can actually motivate us to achieve great things. And fear is actually one of them, but it may actually be holding us back as well from living our life to the fullest. Am I right? So we all experience fear at some point in our lives, whether it's fear of heights, fear of snakes, fear of public speaking. We experience it. It is completely normal to have some type of fear in our lifetime, right? And even to this point. But it does depend whether you have a healthy level of fear or whether it becomes unhealthy, okay? And a healthy level of fear is basically a fear that is just mild, and then there's moderate, and then there's severe fear, where it's just crippling fear, okay? But what I'm going to share with you right now is how to actually turn your fear into those motivation. And this is just your mild fear, which is fear of just, let's say, for myself, it was fear of height. The first thing you need to do is to recognize your fear, okay? It's normal to be afraid of some things, okay? Because in fact, it's completely healthy, all right? It means that you're paying attention to your surroundings and you're being proactive about your safety. But what do you do when your fears actually start to get in the way of your everyday life, right? Now, that's when you actually need to address it. And the first thing you need to do is to identify that fear and what triggers it, okay? And once you know that, you can actually start moving forward with a plan of dealing with it. The second thing you need to do is to challenge your beliefs. Yes, I said it, okay? Because it's easy to get wrapped up in your own beliefs, and we can actually convince ourselves that it is based on facts, when in reality, it's based on what we've been told or what we've experienced, okay? Because sometimes it's important to just challenge those beliefs that has been ingrained in us that cause us to have that fear, okay? So take a step back and examine them objectively, okay? And to see if they're really based on reality or if it's just a product of your imagination, okay? Because that's why when we struggle with fear of heights, like I did, I had to take a step back and just examine it and decide whether or not it was rational, whether or not it was fiction or facts, right? And after doing that and having some supportive evidence and have my belief be questioned, then I was able to work towards no longer being afraid of heights. So the third thing you need to do is to reframe your thinking, okay? Now, I used to be afraid of failure, right? I was so convinced that if I didn't succeed at everything, that the world was going to end, that it was the worst thing on the face of the planet, right? That it was just, I was just depressed. I was down and bummed out because I did not get what I wanted. I did not succeed in what I tried, right? So I worked really hard to make sure that it didn't happen, that it never happened, right? But eventually I realized that my fear was actually holding me back, right? And it wasn't until I actually changed the way that I thought about failure that things started to change for me as well. And instead of seeing things so negative, I began to see it as a tool of learning and growth, right? And that's when things really started to take off for me, okay? So now when I experience failure, instead of feeling discouraged, bummed out, and just like the world has ended, right? I use it as an opportunity to improve myself. The next thing to do is to set realistic goals. I used to be one of those people who set my goals way too high, right? I wanted to accomplish everything at once. And it was just my way of doing things, right? And I was always disappointed in myself when I didn't reach my goals, right? But after I learned how to reframe my thinking, I realized that it's important to set realistic goals, right? And now I am much more successful because my goals are achievable. And if I do happen to achieve more than what I originally planned, then that's a bonus, right? So don't be afraid to set more realistic goals for yourself because you'll be surprised how much you can accomplish by doing it that way. Now, the next thing you need to do is to take baby steps. Now, it can be tough to face your fears. And sometimes it feels like you're up against a huge wall that's impossible to scale. But don't worry about that, okay? You can do it. Just take things slowly and start taking those small steps towards your big goals, okay? Because each step you give, it gives you a little bit of confidence, right? And before you know it, you'll be scaling that wall, jumping over that wall, doing backflips and so forth. So don't be discouraged, okay? Just keep taking those baby steps until you reach your goals. Okay, so it's important to also seek support, right? Now, it can be really tough to face fears, and sometimes it feels like you're alone in this world and nobody understands what you're going through. But that's not true. There are plenty of people who are actually helping other people to go through the same exact fear that you're currently going through. So if you need it, go ahead and talk to a friend, talk to a family member about what's going on in your life. Let them know, okay? Because you will never be able to get the support and help you need if you never open your mouth and ask for help, all right? So they will be able to give you some good advice or even be a listening ear for you to vent to, because sometimes we just need to vent. Am I right? So if talking to people close to you is really difficult, then try going to like a support group, either online or in person, right? There are plenty of people who understand what you're going through, and they'll be more than happy to give you some help and support. All right, so this is the biggie, okay? It's time to reward yourself because you faced your fears and you did what you were afraid of. So now it's time to actually reward yourself. So go ahead and do something that you really enjoy. Maybe it's going out for dinner. Maybe it's buying that cute shoe you always wanted to buy, right? Or maybe it's just taking a relaxing aromatherapy bath with your favorite soothing oil. Go ahead and do it. Whatever makes you happy, just do it. You deserve it, okay? And remember, the more that you do something, the easier it's going to get, okay? And soon enough, you won't be able to be dealing with those issues anymore. That fear that you had is going to be just a memory. So I hope that these tips actually help you to see that fear doesn't have to be a bad thing, right? But in fact, it is quite motivating, right? So just remember to take things one step at a time and don't let fears control your life. If you actually want help and how to actually deal with the stress and anxiety that comes up because of fear, then go ahead and grab this free video that I have in the description below. It's going to show you exactly how I myself, as a mom that was going through certain issues, was able to get my stress and anxiety under control quickly using natural solutions. So go ahead and click down below and grab that as well, okay? It's been a blast being on here, sharing with you these amazing tips to turn your fears into motivation. And if you feel like anyone is suffering with fears as well, share this with them, all right? I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.